Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video we will be looking at the M&C Condor. This is a dimple lock with 5 pins on the top and 5 sliders that are associated with a sidebar. These sliders have false gates, but they are not very effective, and the top pins have kinda interesting shape that they behave like some kind of weird spool. So let's take a look at the key. We have our top bitting. We have our slider track on the edge of the key right here, and we have some bitting for passive pins. Okay, so the housing is just your standard housing, but as you can see there is a sidebar groove on the side, of course. Okay, let's take a look at the plug. I actually left one of the sliders inside so I can show you the action. So as you can see, the keyway is pretty open. It looks like there's some wording, but honestly it's not too bad. You can use pretty much almost anything in there. We have in the core 5 chambers for the sliders. We have some chambers for the top pins, the key pins. This is the groove for the sidebar, and we have some chambers for passive pins. Okay, so how do this work? Actually, let me first show you the main stack. So we have some just your average standard key pins, and all of the drivers look like this. So they look kind of like gin bottle spools, but of course there's no countermilling, so these basically act like spools in a way that first you just get some binding, you are pushing the driver up, and towards the end, as it gets close to the shear line, there is this narrowing, and that's the part, or that's the time when you get counter rotation. So definitely a little bit tricky to get, but nothing too terrible. And let's take a look at our sliders. So as you can see in a second, these sliders have a knob. Oops. There's like a knob on the top, and this is what extends into the keyway and interacts with the slider track. And on the other side we can see that this cutout is the true gate, and actually this one does not have a false gate, but this one does. Okay, so as you can see, this has 2 cutouts. One is narrower, so the sidebar will not fit in there, and the other one is wider, so that's the true gate. To be completely honest, the false gates do pretty much nothing. These sliders, generally speaking, are pretty weak, and it's actually really easy to set them. There's not too much work involved in setting them. What's more difficult in this lock is actually the main stack, because especially the really high lifts or the max lifts are tricky, and they're really like up there, so you need to position your pick correctly. Let me show you the action of the slider as you insert the key. So here you can see in chamber 1 we have our slider, this thing, and as I insert the key, it starts moving. Okay, and upon full key insertion it exposes its true gate, and then this sidebar, which is basically just a piece of metal, can sink in there, and the plug can turn. So picking this lock is pretty straightforward. I think the most challenging part is to find your way in the keyway, because if you are picking it the style where when the drivers are on top, the key pins are like the sliders are on the bottom of the keyway and the key pins are hanging from the top. So if you are like me, stubborn, you will pick it like this and you will have problems, because I was picking it like from the right side. So I was constantly bumping into these sliders that are on the bottom of the keyway, and I had quite a difficult time getting under the binding key pins, or binding pins actually. So it's quite crowded in there, but if you can, I strongly advise you to pick this lock Euro style, so the sliders are on top, and not only that, but it's best to pick this lock like from the right side. Okay, so your flag is here and the sliders are in the top left part of the keyway, and your flag goes like through here, so there's no interference between your flag and the sliders. For picking this lock I was using the multi-pick number, 6, and for the sliders you can use pretty much anything. I use this Peterson hook number 1, but you can use a little flag to sort of rotate the slider and move it, but it's up to you. As I said, the sliders do not provide too much of a challenge. Alright, I think that's all there is to say, so let's get to picking. Alright, here we go. It works. Let's get to picking. So I'll be going counterclockwise and start with the stop pins. Nothing on 1. 2 is binding. Something there. 3 is loose. 4. Click there. Little false set. 5. Count rotation and a click. Cut him set. 1 is still loose. 2. Okay, 2 is binding, but it's a pretty high lift. Okay, gotta click out of him. 1 is still loose. 3 now. Count rotation and his set, but I think I dropped something. I think it was 4. Click out of 4. More false set. Now 1 is binding. Okay. Got him set, and we are in a very deep false set. And where's my... Okay, here it is. Oops. Now the sliders. So basically you can use whatever you like. I have this hook one. So nothing on 1, 2, 3 is binding. Click there. 4. Come on. Click on 4. We got it open. Okay, that was smooth. Perfect. Let's cut this lock. And let me just switch to autofocus. Hopefully we can get this apart without any problems. Okay, so there's a circlip back here. And it's off, almost. We have a follower in here, and we have a key. So hopefully this will work. Okay, so there's a sidebar on the bottom that I need to catch. Okay, I think I got it. So let's put this here, and now let's drop the sidebar first. And there should be some springs as well. Indeed. What was that? Oops, that was a key pin. Key pin number 1 dropped. Okay, let's put him here. I would really like to remove these sidebar springs first. Can I do that? They're really tiny. Okay, I think I need to sort of help them a little. Come on, Mr. Spring. Okay, he's coming out. Oh, it's actually a pretty big spring. I didn't expect it. One, and the other one goes out. Alright, so one side has got it. What else do we have here? We have some passive pins here. Can these go out is the question. I don't know. Okay, let's just remove the key pins, I guess. So 2. Three. And 4. And 5. Okay. And what about these passive pins? Okay, they can go out. So there's 1 and there's 2. Perfect. I think that's all from the passive pins. Now we have these 5 sliders. Okay, so these are spring loaded, so watch out for that. So we have 5 of them. So let's just put them here, I guess. These are not exactly happy to leave the lock. Okay, so 1 and 2 and these tweezers are not exactly the best for this job. I don't want to just step them out because of these springs. 3. 5 and 4. Okay. Question is, okay, the springs come out indeed. We have 3 so far. 4. And I'm looking for the last one. I hope I didn't lose it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I will look again just in case. Oh, there it is. I literally couldn't see it, even when I looked. Okay, so we have this core free of all the elements. Let's put it here, and we can put the sidebar, I don't know, here. And that leaves us with the drivers. So here's the front. So there's 1. There's 2. 3, 5, and 4. Nice. Have everything, got it. Okay. And these are just 2 springs conjoined. All right. Okay, I think that's all. So just a close up on the pins. There's our drivers and the sliders, sidebar, core and the housing. Alright, that's it for today guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and see you next time.